Hello everyone, as I promised yesterday, here is the perspective drawing of that room, of this room that we were studying. You already have this assignment, so I hope you had a chance to get familiar with it. We're going to use the same couch that we used yesterday, so that gives you an advantage. And I'm going to explain point by point or step by step how to do a 1-point perspective. As I told you before, these are two 11 by 18 sheets placed together. I put a piece of tape in the back so I have a bigger surface to work on. And as I told you before, the first step, what you do is you draw the true height wall. Here's my 18, I think it's 18 feet by 8 true height wall. So this is the first thing I draw, okay? I'm using a half an inch scale, half an inch, 1 foot scale. And the second thing that we do is at 5, 6, so here is 6, here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, I draw my horizon line. Remember that because we're working at home, we don't have the tools that we have at school. Doesn't matter, I can always use my triangles to achieve perfect geometry. So here what I'm going to draw is my horizon line. And as I told you before, try to do the vanishing point somewhere around the middle, not exactly in the middle, but somewhere to your right or somewhere to your left. I'm gonna draw it here, VP. As you know, I always ask, where is your vanishing point? Because for me, it's very important to locate your vanishing point. Where is your vanishing point? Don't be afraid to just mark it, because this is going to be your reference point for the depth of everything in your drawing. So then I'm going to take my vanishing point. I'm going to place my triangle here in order to draw my first corner, my first floor line, vanishing point, my instruments. I touch this corner here and I'm drawing my second wall, okay? And then I'm going to draw my ceiling, vanishing point, again, always vanishing point. This is our point of reference. And it's time to draw my ceiling lines, my other ceiling line with my vanishing point. Okay, the next thing we do is we draw our working lines on this side. I have this preference of working on the right, but it doesn't really matter. Whatever you decide to do, it's going to be fine. Always remember that you need to keep the horizontality, because we don't have the horizontal tool to help us, that we have the parallel ruler that we have at school, but we can always keep our horizontal lines horizontal with our triangles, okay? So remember that these are my working lines, these are my wall lines. So these lines are going to appear in my drawing. All these are working lines, okay? So now the next thing we do is we start working with our increments. Remember that in order to find our measuring point, we need to locate ourselves in the last piece of furniture that we want to represent. I would say it's the carpet, because I want to see the carpet. I mean, that's a matter of choice. I want to see the carpet and I want to see the floor. So I'm going to stand here at 16, right? 18 minus 2 is 16, and I'm going to add 1, so it's going to be 17. Remember that in order to find our measuring point, we always stand at the last piece of furniture, of decoration that we want to represent, and we add 1 increment. So I'm going to be measuring 18 on my floor line, okay? So it's going to be, I'm working with half, I'm going to count, maybe my paper is going to be too small, doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh my God, I run out of paper. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter, because this is part of your drawing, right? This happens a lot. So this is why we need to improvise, because these are my working lines. Remember, you can do whatever you want with your base drawing. It's your base drawing, it's your point of reference, because in the exam and in real life, you're just going to hand out your vellum with a perfectly traced perspective with no signs of anyone working on it. So you can do whatever you want with your drawing, okay? So I can add a piece of paper that is normal. So again, I have to do 17, where am I? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, okay? I'm going to complete my line, keeping my horizontal. Thank goodness my table is very big. Okay. I'm also going to extend my working line here, my horizon line. I'm going to extend it because, as you know, we're going to need it. Okay? So after I've counted 17 here, okay, this is 17, I'm going up. I keep my horizontal line here as a reference. A little bit harder if you don't have your parallel, but that's fine. And I go up here, 17, okay? And then, as you know, I add 2 or 3 to my measuring point. I'm only going to add 2 because, as you can see, we're running out of space here, but that's fine. So 1, 2, and here is going to be my measuring point, okay? Fine, we found it, no problem. It's gonna be a little bit tricky to work because I chose a big scale on purpose because I really wanted to show you without, you know, having these little lines and little spaces, but it doesn't matter. Still, I can work with my conventional tools that we have at school. So remember, I take my measuring point, I pass it through my number 1, and I go here. I'm measuring, I'm transferring these numbers here to my grid on the floor. As I told you, I'm deforming them. See how it goes here? And as I told you before also yesterday while I was lecturing, the key of perspective is that you see things differently than what they are. So whatever is closer to you, you see bigger. Whatever is farther from you, you see smaller, okay? So this is what we're doing. We're transferring these measurements on space into my grid here, into my perspective grid. So as you can see, one of the keys to understand that you're doing your drawing correctly and that everything is going okay is that the points that are farther from you, therefore closer to the true height wall, are going to be smaller, and the ones closer to you are going to be bigger, and the ones closer to the wall are going to be smaller because they're farther from you. So if you're doing that correctly, trust yourself that you're doing a good perspective. If things don't seem right, if your eye is telling you that there is something wrong, probably there is something wrong with your drawing. So don't you worry too much about it. I just want you to understand that whatever is closer, it's bigger. Whatever is farther, it's smaller in your perspective, okay? In the way you see things. So here we're a little bit far from the line. I'm going to continue to transfer. This is why it's very important to add 1 increment to my last piece of furniture, so I have a little more space to work on my floor. Unfortunately, we have enough floor. We made it. That's very cool. Here, just on the edge. See? Doesn't matter. I don't think I'm going to draw all the way there because remember what we have is a carpet. And this is great. We have transferred. So this is 1, this is 1, this is 2, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. 7. I mean, I'm just doing it for you to remember and to visualize why we're doing things. This is going to be a little bit tricky. Let me just try to do this way, okay? And look how I always take as a point of reference my horizontal lines, okay? Trust yourself that you're going to be doing this, okay? So I'm going to use my pen hard. I'm going to do my line really dark. So I'm going to be able to see it through the paper. When I'm drawing, remember, you don't draw on top of your grid. As I said, this is the last time you're drawing on top of your grid because your grid is to go behind, it's supposed to go behind your drawing. It's a point of reference. If you erase something and you erase your grid, that's going to be, oh my God, a big headache, okay? But if you erase something and your grid is safe and protected behind, then it's going to be easier. I'm just going to do this half and then I'll do the other half because it's too hard. my drawing is too big, my tools are too small. But I wanted to do a big drawing in order for you to understand what we're doing. Remember, this video to help you visualize 1 point perspective. Sometimes I love it when my students say that they're gonna practice at home, so this is why I'm taking the time to record this video. I hope it helps you, and I hope you save it and you go back to it whenever you need a little bit of freshening your memory in terms of perspective drawing.